Okay, good afternoon, everybody. And if you don't know me, I'm Ed Hagen. I'm the auto electrical teacher. And in my class, I don't have time for an extra project. So I was wondering how I was going to fit this in to my regular curriculum. And then an email came out, probably from Ted, saying, hey, you guys know you have to do one of these each semester, so I figured, oh, I better get on that. We were just getting into the starting system, so I have every system of the car electrically in a module form. And so I said, okay, here's my idea. I'm going to just not say a word about the starting system, and we're just going to start this module off with the students doing their project was to research the starting system of the vehicle. So they're just jumping right in this. So I gave them this, and it says that they will research and describe the starting system of the car or light-duty truck of their choice. So that satisfies one of the PBL requirements there, that they're choosing what particular vehicle it is. And basically I had 3 criteria that they were going to list the components that make up the starting system. So you guys know the starting system. You put the key in and it starts the engine, right? And then they were going to describe how the circuit works. And then they were going to create a flow chart to diagnose a no crank condition. You get in your car, there's nothing there. How are you going to diagnose that? So I wanted them to create some sort of a flow chart. So, and keep in mind, you know, we hadn't talked about this particular circuit at all. And so they got into it and they broke into groups, and I was really impressed because they're utilizing these the Google Slides and stuff that I really never use, and they got right to work on it. So I wanted them to pick a vehicle. So what vehicle are you reporting on? Who are you going to be working with? Are you going to be working with someone else? And now they're going to run it by me. I wanted to sign that off. So, you know, you could think like elaborate. You could say, hey, I'm going to do a Lamborghini or something. But maybe that starting system's a little complicated. I would encourage them to kind of keep it simple. Let's just keep it simple for right now. And so by talking with them, I decided whether, they decided whether they were going to do it or not. And so as they prepared the 3 elements that I described to you. So coming in here, I do have an example here. And believe me, I really want to keep this to the 3 to 5 minutes, so I'm not going to take up a lot of time. But I do want to show off this. This is definitely not the best one. It was one that I had the students, hey, send me your project so that I could use it for this presentation. This is one that actually opened, and and it worked. It worked. So here it is, and let's see if my clicker is working here. Let me advance. So this is a student's presentation here. So there's a starting system. A lot of students use this page to describe how it worked. But this student here, this group of students, they're just going down the line. This is a very cool PowerPoint, better than most of the ones that I use. So here's the components. Look at this, battery, fuses. We're just going down the line here. Relay, starter motor, ignition switch. It's fantastic. And, you know, they're going through body control module. They're just going through it like this. What to check first, and so there's the battery. Start at the battery. Hey, maybe I have a dead battery, right? That makes sense to everybody here, right? Okay, so they're going down, and I'm going to just go through this very quickly here. But this is like a flow chart. Is like, is this okay? If it's okay, then you go to the next step. If it's not okay, then you kind of back up and check that out. So if no, refer to information bus. And you know, just going through this a second time, like after the presentations, is pretty amazing, and I'm very impressed by it. It's way better like me reading these slides than the actual presentation was. So does the engine crank? You know, so they're getting to it's just a step-by-step procedure of how to find it. And you can tell this student here, they actually researched it and typed it into this format here. And so they're just going down the line and got everything here and pin numbers, what to check, and that was the student's presentation. Let's move on here. Let me close out of this. I know how to do this. Okay. And this is another student's version here. So much more, you know, like just scanning a page out of a book and describing a starting system. Here's another flow chart, very simple. And so it's a yes or no thing. You're going down, yes or no, down the line. So it was just cool that they jumped in this and immersed themselves into this project. Some students actually copied pages out of service manuals and took it there. This was, I was actually videoing with my phone as they were doing them, but I couldn't find one. I couldn't make it play, so it was a snapshot of the students giving a presentation, and that keeps this presentation shorter anyway. So now everybody's done. They all got a copy of this rubric. So I actually counted up how many of these presentations are going to be given. And so they had a packet of these blank rubrics. So every student had this packet, and they put who was, what their name is, and who the presenters were. And these were the categories that they were grading on. So did they mention the components? Did they mention how it operated? The three things? Did they construct a diagnostic flow chart? Very simple, 3, 2, 1. If they did it, they got the 3. And then a little bit about the presentation itself. How was the delivery, oral quality, audience engagement? And so they scored each presentation. So everybody, unless they were given the presentation, scored the group as they were doing it. And you know, backing up way back to this first page, I said that the class will rate each presentation, and those ratings will be used to select 3 to 5 presentations that will represent our class in a public forum to parents, industry partners, and other classes. So that's what we were looking for, who had the best one. So what I did after all the presentations were given, I created an Excel sheet. That's what kind of guy I am. And so here's everybody's name here, and then these are the presenters. These were the guys. This guy presented by himself, and the groups are there. So when there's more than one, then that's group. And so how did this guy score this guy? The first guy got 17 out of a possible 18. Very good. So I averaged their totals down here, and here was the class average. So I averaged that. And then Mr. B, I thought the first presentation was at 18. He had everything. So we're very close. So the class average and combined with mine. So I had the average of the class, I had how I scored it, and then how they linked up together for every category. Something kind of interesting. So there were some students that didn't like this guy. They didn't like him. And so if you look at, here's 6. That's the minimum that you could give someone, 1 point per square, right? There was no 0. So it was either 3, 2, or 1. So, and there were a couple people that didn't like him that scored only 6. This guy scored 6. Sarah Crowder was there, and we could not believe the quality of this presentation. We thought that, you know, God, if everybody's like this, this is going to be incredible. He never looked at the screen. He talked to the people. He had it down. He had what he was going to do down, you know. And so it was amazing. So that in itself is kind of interesting, the way that worked out. So every group was doing that for the public display. Jim Walker actually had his class working on a presentation at the same time. So we came in here, and we did it for the 2 classes. And you know, you send out a Blackboard thing to the parents and no response, and send out something to our industry partners and no response. So what we had was we had 2 classes in here and looking at the best presentations that we had. And so this was the public part of it that we did. So kind of interesting, and that's it.